that if we look at the concepts of love, we may think that love is limitless. There is not any confinement for love. But it has its own, limits. It is something that Frederick also mentions trapologically when Catherine is pregnant. But as it is said, love is trapped by mortality, and it ends with death. But as far as we know, love can continue, and but there are different types according to its concepts. Maybe it is a kind of respect or sacrificing when we have something in many of the stories of the world and the poems also of the world that show this kind of love and some respect to love, like somewhere we see that in the one of the poems had we but time enough, coy mistress. This is a kind of love, but the man here tries to deceive or encourage the lady not to keep her virginity until her death. Says after the death, some creatures and some animals, some snakes, cockroaches, come and try to eat and devour her virginity. This is one kind of maybe love. And because of the shortage of time, many try to somewhat seduce, the others. Yes, we have also about the rain. And on the other side, we have war that is so horrible. This is a kind of book on war as well. As we have Moby Dick on shipping and hunting, this is, let's say, a book on war. There are some questions about war. Why does it happen? Why war? And then what is the reason, of this kind of horrible acts between two nations or, two people? Or we know that realistically it happens everywhere, and it raises some stress, on people. But where is the place of, human values and the human, moralities, many believe? At war, maybe there is nothing. It is a kind of perplexing, by fighting. And here man may lose some sort of his own wishes, his own desires, and his own values. Since you stand, as one of the poems also indicates, the man he killed. They have been enlisted for war without any reason, since this shows the irrationality of war. But it is inevitable. And we see that it happens in many parts of the world, or happened and also happens in many parts of the world. Two people stand face to face without knowing each other, and you have to shoot and kill the person who is in front of you, and if not, you know that you may be killed. Therefore, you stand and shoot for the person you don't know, for the person you have not met. And as we see in that poem as well, if they would meet, in an inn, they would sit and maybe invite each other to a cup of coffee. But in war, they have to show their own, let's say, brutality and killing each other without any commitment and responsibility for the other people. For two people that they met each other a lot, they spoke with each other, you see, a lot. They have some meetings, summit is a meeting, two presidents, suppose. They know each other, they know well each other, they have know anything about each other. They never participate, you see, in wars. But two soldiers stand and then kill each other. This shows the irrationality of war, and also mentioned, you see, in this novel. So it is not idealistic. We know that, but for Hemingway, who shows different, you see, possibilities through his different, you see, characters, to show these ideas of life, to show the peace of life. And we see that others try to grasp to those ideas, but experience only tragedy and experience, you see, frustration. Therefore, we see that for some seem to have no values, you see, left, to only a life without any senses. But when we read, you see, the novel, chapter by chapter, and then discuss about the events in this novel, we see that there are some sort of values, and even through war, these values can affect people. So, human values also can be among one of the most important, you see, themes of this novel. And even we see some sort of, innocence or disillusionment in the novel as well. He is an innocent who goes to war for no good reason, except a search for his, you see, excitement. But when he participates in war and tries to react in different situations, we see that he has tasted this taste of life as a bitter one. He learned something about the emptiness of war, about the meaninglessness of war, about the impersonal sum of facts related with some, you see, in war. And we see that in the end, this war gives the character some sorts of meaning. The meaning of, you see, life, the meaning of fate, the meaning of death. And anyhow, we see at the end, with Catherine's death, he is left empty and disillusioned. I mean, see, Frederick. Okay, let me go to your okay, again, any other idea, or you are not able to, you see, connect? All right. With I'm telling Kate something about the code hero. Uh, we see that Frederick shares a number of traits with the heroes of other Hemingway's books as code hero. Like you see some characters in the other novels written by Hemingway. As some critic says that all the characters in different stories by Hemingway, they are some merged into a single Hemingway hero, and the idols they try to live by have been seen as a sort of Hemingway's heroic code. Uh, because Hemingway's own life also are actually very similar to the way that the characters act and react, you see here. Is soldiering, is traveling, you see here and there, is hunting, his journalism, very close of these heroes, Frederick. And in the end, we see that Hemingway is suicide as a victim of the code. In Hemingway's you see a word still of the aftermath of war of or the faith or values in general, or loving God. We see that shattered as it is clear in this novel as well. In this word, only co-behavior men, actually men, uh, uh, and perhaps without rules for how to live. What are, you see, these rules? Though they are generally not ends, but we can see that the characters like you see Henry, uh, who has lost all his faith in spoken moralities. At least those mentioned by the leaders of his day, as he says that I was always embarrassed by the word sacred, glorious, the sacrifice, and the expression in vain. We see that these are, at the first glance, may seem some sort of, you see, glorified, but actually there is not any glory. Hemingway heroes uh, put some faith in the ability to do a job well. In favor to arm, for example, we see that Henri admires, you see, Rinaldi, the ambulance driver, the nurse, and even of the worst circumstances you see in the novel. And it is clear, despite the moments of love and beauty, it is, let's say, you see, a cruel one. Uh, we know what the story is about. At the same time, we don't know what it is about. We have time to learn things told about the rules, things taught them. If you learn about such, more in the story. Now, a favor to arm also, the coach though, I had you see something like this from a note that yes, this shows his skill of Ernest A, who has created this character or fictional character to respond to some different types of senses. This is a man who involved in drinking. This is a man who moved from one lover to another. This is a man who participated in different games and different activities. This kind of character that is coach hero is about a man of action rather than a man of theory. Participating in war as an ambulance driver, as a surgeon, as a soldier, making law, participating in some dangerous acts and events. These are the features of Hemingway's coach hero. And some concepts that lie beyond these hero lies in the disillusionment of the American public. The disillusionment that was brought about by the First World War. The sensitive man in America or in the world came to the realization of those values embedded in Christianity and the unethical systems of the Western world to save mankind from the catastrophe inherent in the First World War. We can conclude, in this way that Hemingway's values are not actually Christian. They are not the morals that we have accustomed to it in the 20th century Protestant, America. So this shows Hemingway's character during their life. They drink, they make life, they enjoy food, they enjoy all the sensuous, appetite, and they are significant values in Hemingway's works. If we return to our primary summer consideration, that is that death is the end of all things, it then becomes, the duty and the obligation of the Hemingway's hero to avoid death at almost all cost. So life must continue. Life is valuable. Life is enjoyable. Life is everything. And for there's nothing. And with this view in mind, it might seem strange then to the casual reader that the Hemingway quote hero will often be placed in an encounter with death, or that the Hemingway hero will choose often to confront death. In the presence of death, then, man can discover his own sense of being. Man can discover his own potentiality. Another thing with Hemingway is, you see, the Nada concept. Besides all the concepts with the code hero, there are some sort of, you see, connection with this view, you see, as well. That their actions, some are often identified by some certain, you see, movements or actions or performances in this case. The characters are restless. It means that the character or the character often stay awake at night time and sleep all the day because they are afraid of, you see, death. Man sleeps as a kind of, you see, obliteration of the consciousness. Night is a difficult time for Hemingway's hero and code hero because night itself implies the utter darkness that man will have to face after death. Therefore, the code hero will avoid night time. So instead of it, they still stay, you see, awake at night. They start drink. They try to do, you see, something. They spend, you see, their time with somebody, and then in the morning they desire sleep. Okay. Now let me go to your notes. Nothing mentioned. I don't know whether there is a problem with the connection or talking. Most of the of the ordinary people believe that rain is sight or symbol of happiness and renew of life. But there we see that writer adopts the idea of death. This is mean that writer has black view more than happy one. You see, death, as I mentioned, is inevitable. Nobody can be found who rejects death. We see that it sooner or later happens. Therefore, everybody accepts it. And there is not any feeling that we can somehow get rid of this fact of life. Some may believe in God, some may not believe in God. But for we see that all people believe. And this is one of the most significant processes you see in life, that from the very beginning people try to think about it. Where do they go after death? What is happening after death? There are lots of stories even from, you can find, you see, lots of this information even in the myth and mythology. We can find also something. Okay, so briefly, you see, I mentioned some ideas about the favor to arm. Hopefully in our coming session, we try to focus on the questions. I have sent them to the WhatsApp group. Okay, anyhow, see, I stop here. Nobody, you see, participated in this session. I don't know why. Maybe there was a problems with you, with you see the dawn, with the connection. I don't know. See whatsoever it is. Anyhow, I stop here and wish you a very happy and good time. Have a very good time. Thank you and goodbye.